We did look at the protocols the university has for any emergency situation. A tree branch just full of ice fell on top of us. I've got that video on my Twitter handle if you want to take a look, which is something that we've been talking to you guys throughout the day. We've shown you the results that we've seen on the Hamilton County Board of Elections website, but really the fun stuff happens here. I want to introduce you to Grant Stanley, who was in an active shooter situation himself in the past. A lot of firefighters still here on the scene, some of them walking in and out of the building, some with flashlights. That's because the fire is still under investigation. For 4 days now, since Thanksgiving, Jordan's car has been sitting here at this Taco Bell in Covington. As you can see, it's covered in snow now. An active shooter in the building where her son had just reported for his internship. In fact, she had just dropped him off 30 minutes before receiving this phone call that completely changed it all for her. I have my rain boots and my raincoat back in the car, but I don't think I'll have to pull those out anytime soon. The mess that's left behind, tree trunks, tree branches in just this small section right by the river. So the student I spoke to said he was 20 feet away from where the altercation took place. Oh, well, Tamika, Chris, good morning. As you can tell, I'm having a little too much fun here at the Home and Garden Show. This turned from a double stabbing to a triple stabbing, and it's now being considered a homicide. But before I give you those details, I want to step out of the way so that you guys can kind of see just this police presence here. It looks like I'm standing just in front of a plain, white, ordinary wall, but this is what it used to look like. And to give you an idea of just how big it looks, take a look. 71 North was completely shut down. As you can see, no cars are driving northbound. As promised, I told you I was going to change. I'm ready for the run later today. Cincinnati fire crews were here, EMS crews were here, luckily. Now, I say luckily because take a look just across the street on this house, a baby was unexpectedly being born. Also, the final mass of the day, as you can hear, wrapping up behind me. As soon as your food is ready, that locker will pop up and then your food will come to you. Thank you, Lisa. It's one of my favorite times of the year. It's back to school shopping, time to shop till I drop. And this morning, I get the whole Target store to myself. It's a center that's provided more than 17,000 warm meals for seniors just last year and more than 550 hours of activities for them. But their new home might be just a quick 2-minute walk down the street at this colorful building behind me. You know me, you know I'd be in this pool if I could, as proof. Check it out. I did bring my latex swim cap. Look at the text message I got just yesterday. It says I ran out of data, or as my family really likes to point out, I used up all the data in our family plan.
Hi, how you doing?
At Arnold's Bar and Grill, there's history on the wall.
We're the oldest bar in Cincinnati. We've been open since 1861.
And a big story behind something so small.
Younger people would appreciate, whoa, what's this? A paper straw. Because they feel different.
When Jim Tarbell took over Arnold's in 1976, he made it his mission: open air, freshly squeezed lemonade, and paper straws.
I would not underestimate the value environmentally of this one item.
That's why years ago, Arnold's went strawless. If you ask for a drink, you'll get no straw. If you ask for a straw, you'll get paper straws.
This is hopefully just a symbol of where we're going with our environmental awareness.
Now that local commitment to the environment is part of a global controversy over humans' reliance on plastic, especially plastic straws.
There's still a purpose here for straws, for sanitation purposes, for health conditions.
And dozens of cities outside of the tri-state, including Seattle and Miami Beach, have already banned them. And locally, Arnold's isn't alone. Crazy Fox Saloon in Newport also did it.
We're trying to lessen the impact, and the best way to do that is to not give them out at all.
In Rumpke landfills in Ohio, you'll find plastic is the second most prevalent material following paper. The Hamilton County Recycling and Solid Waste District found that in 2012, plastic made up almost 22% of what residents throw away. And recycling most plastic is impossible, so it ends up in the wrong places.
We always are finding plastics along the shoreline, if they're not already floating out in the lakes and the streams and the ocean.
That is why other options are already on the market.
We recommend is that you use reusable straws. You use stainless steel, there's even glass, there's even reusable plastic ones that you can use.
But not everybody can embrace these changes.
Thank you so much.
Michael Denlinger's go-to drink is Pepsi.
If I didn't have this straw, it would be very hard for me to tip the glass up to my mouth to drink it.
Michael was born with cerebral palsy and relies on plastic straws to hydrate. He's learned to bring them with him wherever he goes. That's because plastic straws are the safest option for his health condition.
Drinking from a metal straw would be kind of hard because it might cut up the roof of people's mouth a little bit. I know I would get paper in my mouth because the straw would get really wet from my saliva. You would also have a choking hazard on your hands at that point.
It's for people like him that bendy plastic straws were invented, and they originated in a place like this one. Hospitals.
So a straw can be useful for somebody that's had a stroke and has weakness on one side of their face. They can use the straw and put it on the stronger side, and that helps keep the liquids contained in the mouth.
Speech-language pathologist Colleen Delahanty uses straws every day to evaluate how her patients are swallowing.
In this hospital setting, I believe we still need to have the straws. They're part of our assessments, and quite frankly, when we do the swallow study, sometimes people can't use a cup.
At the end of the day, if Michael goes to a place like Arnold's that serves up paper straws to its customers, he can still ask and receive plastic straws, but he's concerned on what the future means for them.
And looking out for the planet, let's not accidentally leave behind people who need certain things to live in their daily life.
Paola Suro, 9 on your side. Well, Chris and Catherine, at one point, more than 90% of the island had no power after Hurricane Maria. Now, more than 43% of Puerto Ricans still don't have power. Here is what it looks like now. 3 planes, 12 hours, 4 airports, countless devastation. As we land in Puerto Rico more than 3 months after Hurricane Maria hit, the darkness is evident from the sky and from the ground.
Where I live, there's still no power. I've had no power since Irma, so I'm returning to the Dominican Republic.
On the road, power lines are down, trees are torn, shops and restaurants closed, billboards destroyed, and traffic lights don't work. Now, the impact, of course, has also been felt in businesses like Marilyn's restaurant in Atillo. This is what the deck looked like before the hurricane, and now this is what's left of it.
The chairs were floating. It was scary. When we opened up the front door, the water just rushed out. It almost knocked us over.
People broke into the restaurant 3 times, stealing all they could find. That's how much of a need there is.
I cried. I even hate thinking about it.
They closed for 2 months after that. Now they've reopened because Puerto Rico se levanta. Puerto Rico gets back on its feet.
The kids with a simple toy are happy now. It's not like previous years where they'd be stuck playing with technology.
Groups like Rescatando una Sonrisa or Rescuing a Smile have been giving out toys to kids for 15 years, but this year was a different one.
We've seen more kids on the street, kids barefoot, some who I think have received no toys this year.
While they work on restoring smiles, we saw crews restoring the island, picking up trees and putting power back.
We're doing what's necessary to move forward like Puerto Ricans know how to do.
Now, there are so many places closed, from shops to restaurant, leaving people out of jobs, forcing them to start over or leave the island. More than 200,000 people have already left Puerto Rico already, and more are expected to leave. But Puerto Rico really is coming back. It's just taking a long time because the devastation was so large. And of course, that's frustrating to the community and people in general. But organizations are still working around the clock to help. You can help too. I'll have those links on WCPO.com. Well, guys, for 4 days now since Thanksgiving, Jordan's car has been sitting here at this Taco Bell in Covington. As you can see, it's covered in snow now, but his friends and family tell me that no matter what, rain, shine, ice, or snow, they're not giving up hope, and that's why today they organized a search party in hopes of finding him. From Northside to Covington, and everywhere in between.
We're hoping for the best.
These missing person posters wave in the wind, waiting for Jordan Middlebrook's return home.
I really hope that Jordan knows how much he is loved, and we really want him just to come home safely.
As soon as his aunt Nicole Moyer heard Jordan, who's an active Army National Guardsman, went missing Friday morning, she hopped in her car and drove here from Columbus.
Immediately. When I found out they were organizing a search party, it was not even a question. I was on my way.
She says her nephew, who's from Columbus, drove to Cincinnati to be with some friends on Thanksgiving. He attended a party at Mixwell's on Northside that night and was last seen Friday morning on Hamilton Avenue in the College Hill area.
It's been very difficult not knowing. Both of his parents are very concerned.
His car has been in Covington since Thanksgiving Day.
Everyone's just wanting to give him a big old hug, say hi to Jordan again, and see that smile of his.
Naj Jabari and Nicole are 2 of at least 30 people who showed up for Monday's search party.
He brings people together, and like he's doing right now. He's bringing us together, looking for him.
The large group split into different neighborhoods, thumbtacking posters in shops and poles under the snow, hoping for his return home.
He's the sweetest soul. He's the sweetest guy. He's always around, bringing a smile to everyone around him.
And in today's search party, organizers tell me that they had a search and rescue expert come in. He emphasized the importance of asking local restaurants, shops for any footage that they may have of Jordan from Friday. And they say if you have any information to please let local police know. But for now, we're live in Covington. Paola Suro, 9 on your side. Happy Saturday. We're off to a chilly morning. Not my cup of tea. We'll start with new at 6, a deadly shooting in West Price Hill in broad daylight. And Venezuelan President Nicolás Maduro is blaming the far right for an explosion during a speech today. Trapper keepers and chalkboards to tablets and smartboards. Classrooms are changing. Right now, police are asking for your help to find a Norwood girl who was abducted. We have other big events taking place this weekend, including a 5K this morning. Gaming for a reason. A Tri-State man is dedicating the next 24 hours not just to his screen and controller, but to a cousin, all for a cause. Back to school, not the words many kids will want to hear, but for parents, back to school can also mean added stress with finances. The Seven Hills teacher who was rowing across the North Atlantic made it to land today. I can hear the rain right now.
Yeah, it's coming down pretty good.
24 hours. Wow, Jake, thank you so much. Well, new at 11, an Adams County man is in jail after deputies say a fight led to a deadly stabbing. City leaders hope it's a sign of good things to come. After doing this for a month and a half, I can officially say Harvey has finished the Appalachian Trail. The attorney for a man accused of hitting 2 people with his car says his client didn't see them in the road near Riverbend. He was one of 3 family members killed in a Brown County crash Wednesday. The 9 on Your Side I-Team has discovered that's just one possible change coming to Cincinnati's riverfront. Time can mean the difference between life and death during an emergency. Now we're finding out people in low-income zip codes have to wait longer for help than others.